All my life, I've been a freak. I was kicked out of my family's home in Utah. My father didn't want me because, honestly, I am a freak. So I hitchhiked to New York so I can just blend in and not be seen.
I was so afraid of the night. You seemed to move through the places that I feared. You lived inside my world so softly, protected only by the kindness of your nature. You are my sister, and I love you. May all of your dreams come true.
I don't hate my family, but I know what they've done. When I came out to my family, it was like homosexuality wasn't a part of their life. I said, Ma, I have these feelings for men and I don't know where they come from. It was shunned. It was like, you're not gonna live here and be gay. You have to like girls. Like my brother would be in and out of jail, but because he liked girls, it was okay. I didn't have that same feeling.
I've always wanted to become a girl since I can remember, which was age 1, actually. In Utah, they basically kind of view transgender in the same category as maybe a rapist or a murderer. I'll start at 17. That was when I was kicked out. I lucked out with some guy who wanted to give me a ride. It turned out that he was extremely gay, even though he was this big, tough truck driver guy. I kept telling him I'm transgender, but then, you know, whatever. He still wanted sex with me, and there was no way I can, you know, get that ride if I didn't give him my body. So he dropped me off in Ohio because that was the end of his line. I got a bus ticket from there to New York, and here I am.
The difference between the gay and lesbian youth and other youth is that gay and lesbian youth don't have the kind of support at home or in school, so they end up very isolated on the street, fending for themselves. And they know pretty early into the game that it's not at all what they thought it was going to be like. Some of them end up in jail, and some of them end up dead. Some of them end up addicted to drugs. You know, if they thought they could go back, they would. But a lot of them, they know that going home is not an option.
When I came here, I didn't know what to do. I was walking the streets late at night. I had no place to go. I was thinking about staying at a subway. I was thinking about sleeping in the train.
You have kids coming from all over the United States, you know, because they hear that New York is the place to be, it's where it's okay to be gay. And then they get here and there's nowhere to live.
This image of New York, that's just, it's glamorous, but you know, underneath all the glamour, there's a lot of dirt. It's really not easy to be homeless.
I ran away from my father's house, and I was picked up at the 125th Street train station by the train station police officers. And I told them that if they were to take me back to my father's house, that I was going to end my life.
You don't live here. You're not my son anymore. I'm not raising no faggot in my house. I guess I wasn't wanted at my home. In a way, I kind of wanted that. I didn't want to stay there.
I'm in contact with my parents. We still talk. They just don't know about my transition yet. Trying to let her swallow the HIV part first. She hasn't gotten over that.
My daddy died when I was 9, then my mother died when I was 18, and then I moved from there. I left. That's what happened.
They're responsible for taking care of themselves in a city where adults with full-time, good, wage-earning jobs have trouble taking care of themselves.
The total amount of excess money I had was like $10. So the whole time I was eating like the little snack cakes.
There isn't this safety net, whereas a lot of young people will turn 18 and then still have mom and dad if they go to school or if they decide something else. These young people, it's kind of like the rug gets pulled out from underneath them, and then they're just left to fend for themselves.
I'm 21 years old, and I'm the youngest of 14 children. My mother adopted me and my 2 other brothers, which are biological, and then she has 11 of her own.
So you really want to go home, don't you?
Yeah. I want my family. That's all I have. You know what I'm saying? I don't have nobody else. It's just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no brothers, no sisters. All my brothers, both my brothers are in jail. My brother's doing 15 to life, and my other brother's just got out from escaping. So there's no telling how long he's gonna be going. I don't have anybody else. It's just me. It's just me. I'm alone.
I know what it is for people to be thrown out in the street without an education or without your family or your mother or your father behind you. What you're gonna go into? You're gonna go into prostitution. You're gonna have to eat somehow. You're gonna have to do something. And it's really sad that a lot of families just throw their children into the streets just because they can't handle the situation. It's just because of society. You know, society is a tough place.
I get a lot of feedback from people. A lot of people say things to me that I just don't want to hear. A lot of gross men hit on me. And all I am to people, guys who like me, is just a fetish. Because I'm basically a woman with a penis. And that's a fetish to them. And I don't like that.
Kimmy is one of my best friends, and we walk around a lot together, and people stare at us because they don't understand. I've had things thrown at me in New York City. I've had like glass bottles thrown at me. You know, some days like I walk down the street and I think like, is this really what I want to do? Is this really what I want to be? Is it worth it? Because it's like, sometimes I feel like some people brainwash me, like make me question my own sexuality even though I already know what I want to be.
She used to be a prostitute for a very big pimp. And when she came here, she was raped and she had whores carved into her stomach. She's been through a lot of shit, like I have, which is kind of why I can relate to her, I guess. I've been to jail a few times. I ended up stealing a few cars. I didn't know how to sell them, so I just returned them. After that, I went and stole a bunch of computers and whatever else I can find from schools and stuff. I felt guilty about that. I returned those. After that, I stole a cash machine, one of those cash converters. I got caught, of course, because it's a big-ass cash machine, and I had a dolly rolling it away. That was probably the stupidest thing I've done. Prostitution came up, and I started selling myself for like $10 a pop with a lot of men, nasty, disgusting men. You learn how to use psychology or whatever else you can do to get guys to do whatever you want. It turns out to be kind of like a big old chess game. I sold my ass early too, to eat and to sleep in fucking hotels. That's just what we're, that's just what we have to do. So in order to survive, you gotta do all this grimy shit.
I did a lot of sex working. I put my name out in a website and had Johns or dates call me.
It's all signals. It's all, or like he'll pass by me, make sure I'm looking, and then he'll look back at me, and like, I'll look at him, see if he's choice. Okay, he's choice, I'll take it. He grabs his dick, I look at it, and then we go into a bathroom somewhere and that's it. Like, there's no talking, or like the extent of talking is, where do you want to go? And that's it.
I have to keep it real. Some of my days living on the street were good. Like, we're nice. We're like, I liked it. Because I made either I made a lot of money, or somebody had some fun with me, or whatever the case may be. Some of them were, but a lot of my days were not good at all.
What he wanted was an oral sex, and I did that. I had used a condom, and I performed oral sex on him. And when I finished, he was looking for the wrapper, the condom wrapper, and I was like, I don't know where it's at. I think I threw it out the window or whatever. I noticed that the wrapper was for some reason it had gotten into the back seat somewhere. So I picked it up and I'm like, oh, I found the wrapper. And when I looked down to pick up the wrapper, there was the handle of a gun that I saw right there. I thought I was gonna die at that moment. I was like, okay, well, I got the wrapper and I flung it on the street, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go now, bye. And so I walked away from him, I turned my back to him, and sure enough, he just drove away. But I felt like if I would have came out of my face, if I would have said something mean, if I would have been like, I don't know, overpricing him or something, and he didn't feel right about me for some reason or another, he would have shot me to death right there, I felt.
I remember selling myself. I remember sleeping on the train. I remember, wow.
The way I made money to get drugs was prostituting myself. Usually I'll charge like $20 or $40 for oral sex, $75 for them to penetrate me. It was...
They're eating out of garbage cans. They're sleeping with somebody to get some takeout Chinese food. I mean, that's what we're dealing with here.
I found what's considered out here to be a sugar daddy, which is an older gentleman who financially supported me, and in return, I gave him sexual favors.
I hate men. They're the most disgusting things in the world. I really, really hate them, and I don't want anything to do with them, but I'm still attracted to them. But I don't think anyone will ever be good to me.
I was about to be 18, and this guy said he wanted to take me home and take care of me, and I chose to do that. And I didn't care what I had to do to get there. And I trusted him. He was a much older man, 42 years old, much older, so I didn't question it. I thought that this was somebody I could trust, somebody I would be with, somebody who really cared about me, you know what I mean? So 2 weeks later, I think I went and got a test. 4 weeks later, I got my results and found out that I was HIV positive.
I was like, I could go to New York, I could be rich. I don't know what I was thinking. And it never happened. I'm not rich, I'm broke. I work at McDonald's. I seen it on Sex and the City. You know what? That show is false advertisement. Because they make you look all nice. You get here, and it's not nice. Like, I don't have all those shoes like her, right?
Like who?
Carrie, on the show.
I like to live in America. Seeing a girl that's out here prostituting right now, I remember when I had friends of mine that were doing it, you know, and the same thing, you know, it's like we're all human. We all do these things to survive. Come on, come on. I'm George, man. All right.
Steven, too.
Yo, hungry? You want a sandwich?
No,
we got a sandwich with juice. Let me get a lunch. Let me get two.
Do it. Yeah, you already know.
There's a sandwich in there.
My name is George Santana. I am one of the drivers here at the NutriZone program. It's a youth program, LGBT program that provides services to street youth. Well, I've been doing this, for about 13 years. Tonight we're gonna have Hope a good night, that we're gonna meet some kids out in the street and provide service to them and also give them meals.
You've seen 12-year-olds on the street, kids who've said, you know, I've had enough of living at home. The environment at home is not safe for me, and it's not supportive for me, and I'm gonna leave. I think some of them still love their parents. They just wish that their parents could show them a little more love and accept who they are a little bit more.
So how do they support themselves?
Breaking into people's cars, selling drugs, finding a way of getting money in the street. Yep. See, that's one thing about America. There's always a window of opportunity.
I work for a youth center called the NutriZone, and we reach thousands of gay and lesbian youth. This was an agency that started in the basement of a church over 30 years ago. I would like to see many more housing programs for gay and lesbian youth so that they can make a healthy transition to adulthood. The whole idea of the housing project or the shelter for 100 people that they put over here away from everybody isolates us from the problem and isolates the young people from the resources.
At about 17, my mom made the decision that she didn't want me to live with her anymore. So I had to go into an adult system. They're very scary. You know, you get into these adult homeless shelters and a lot of these men are coming straight out of jail and you're young. So
We don't see you.
So what they do is, it's just hard, you know? They try to take your money or they beat you up or it's just a crazy life.
I was sent to more of an adult shelter. First, they found out I was 19. They sent me to another place. I was sent somewhere else. That somewhere else sent me here. And then they sent me to another place.
I was so scared. I was like, because I got kicked out the shelter. In the late night, I know what I was gonna do. Now come to a NutriZone, they helped me. The NutriZone help people.
What we try to do is go to the same areas over and over again so that the youth get to know us. It's very hard to engage youth on the streets when you're doing outreach because they move and we move.
It's so important that the services be very peer-based.
One of my issues that helped me outreach to inner city youth is that I'm 22 and I'm also HIV positive. I've been HIV positive since I was 18. One of the things that our program does is during the outreach, we ask the youth if they would like a sandwich or a sandwich packet, which contains a granola bar, some fruit snacks, a drink, and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So, you know, I try to make the best of what I can. We only got limited resources to do this. Every night that an outreach is done, we're only allowed to make 10 sandwiches a night. If we make more than that, we'll probably overexceed our funding for the week.
A lot of these young people are very resilient and more resilient than I think we give them credit for. they're just amazing, and they make it through things that most people could never imagine, and they come out alive, and they come out with resources that, you know, just make you say, wow, the human spirit is so amazing. So some of them do, but very damaged, very damaged.
And now it's like the prospect of getting the apartment or getting house and stuff started, that's all down the drain. I know, but and that's bothering the hell out of me. And see, that just now that friend of mine that I was speaking to, he was just saying, oh, you're gonna have to go into a shelter. And I was like, I know. And he was like, and when I asked him if I can come tonight, he said, yeah, but you can't make this a habit.
There's this debate. How many are there? You know, I mean, let's go to the most ridiculously low number that you could come up with. I think the number is 20,000. Let's say it's 3,000. Well, how many beds are there available? You know, 100, several hundred. So there's still thousands of young people with no appropriate place to go. The argument, you know, comes to, let's argue about whether it's 20,000 or 3,000. The real issue is, you know, why are there any?
My name is Kate Barnhart. I'm the director of the Sylvia's Place Shelter for lesbian, bisexual, gay, and transgender youth. Well, the function of the shelter is to provide emergency accommodations in the sense of a place to sleep that's safe for youth who become homeless because they are gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. We also provide food, clothing, referrals, medical care, basic services.
Young people are really limited on where they can go that are youth-appropriate services. And for emergency, which is really what our focus is, I have really like 2 or 3 choices. And if they've gotten in trouble in those 3 places, then I'm left with either the adult shelter system, which really is not safe for, it's not safe for adults, so it's even less safe for adolescents or young adults.
A lot of our youth have curfews, and they have to work till 1 o'clock in the morning, and when they get to the shelter says, sorry, I gave your bed away.
Living in the shelter, that's hard because I have a curfew, and this month I have to work till 1 o'clock. And then they be like, if you come in after 10, you lose your bed, that's not fair.
And with me having the job that I have, a curfew would cause me to lose the only income that I have coming in at the moment in time. I can go to a shelter, but they would be at an adult shelter, and they most likely they would not be equipped to handle, for one, my medical needs.
And when you're living in a shelter system where you're transient all the time, you have to carry everything with you. All of your belongings go with you. Everything that you own goes with you all of the time. Like, I don't think that people realize what that would be like to carry everything that they own with them all of the time, because you can't leave it at the shelter.
You're kicked out of a shelter for like 12 hours a day, or even more. And the only thing that's going through your mind is, what am I gonna do to make this time pass so I can go back home and sleep? I mean, it's like being a tourist without money, you know? It's really bad.
You know, you're in double jeopardy if you identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. Transgender youth, you know, would ride the train over going into a shelter in a second. And so they spend the night on the train and miss work the next day, and so they have to start the cycle all over again.
I've been gay bashed, I've been raped by heterosexual men. You know, I've been through all kinds of things that they thought was gonna go and change my lifestyle.
I feel that every day I have to prove myself to people that I am worthy to be Jasmine, that I'm worthy to live my life as a woman. My father, he asked me, he's like, why are you like that? And I'm like what? And he's like that, like that. And I'm like, well, Papi, you know, I've always been like this my whole life. A family should be supportive, a family should help you out. And that day, I realized and I learned that my family didn't give a fuck about me.
I know I always wanted to be a girl. I started dressing up when I was 15, and then at 17, I started taking hormones, and I just said, one day I just woke up and I said, this is what I want to do. This is what I have to do. I didn't feel comfortable walking in the streets as the other person.
I can blend in with society. I'm smart enough and intelligent enough to graduate from college and hold down a job where it's not, I'm sex working. I'm HIV negative and I don't have an STD. So how do I fit the stereotypes of being transgender? I didn't want that, so now it's like I can say that I am not that.
When parents and caregivers don't accept young people for who they are, their sexual identity, you're telling them, you know, well, here's your choice. You know, change who you are, change the very core of your being, or go live on the street in that world of crime and adult predators and peer predators. And that's a horrible choice if you really do care about your kid.
I remember when I was a kid in Utah, and the only time I was allowed to get out of my room was to go and do chores. My stepfather was a sergeant first class, and he used to do some horrible shit to me. He had kind of like a sexual appeal towards me. Well, my foster mother, she didn't like it, but I think her dedication to family was more important to her than her safety of her children. So she couldn't really stop what he was doing. It could have made me go into a self-destructive pattern, and it could have an effect on the reasons why I'm here today.
I was so afraid of the night. You seem to move through the places that I feared. You lived inside my world so softly, protected only by the kindness of your nature.
You are my sister, and
Honestly, you have to be honest, Mommy. Y'all didn't accept me.
We accepted you. We didn't have no distinction. We took him to church. We bought him clothes.
Yeah, but that's different.
And he was one of the family.
I had a real issue with them accepting me. One, because I liked the men. You understand what I'm saying? And they didn't like that. So if my friends accepted me and all I had to do was get money so I can use drugs with them, then by any means necessary at that point. I was young then, though. Me smoking weed, yeah, weed got me kicked out of here.
It was the harassing for money.
Yeah, too.
That was the main thing. I had to give him so much money. All these problems we went through with him, trying to, talk to him and give him money and things like that. We still accepted him because I believe. I raised Adrian. I know Adrian is my son. I'll stick with that as long as I live. He's my son. Wherever he want to choose, change over to, it's up to him. I respected him. We bought him gifts. We did things. My daughter took him on trips. We had no distinction in him. He was always here. Maybe he felt that way, but we didn't. I didn't treat him no differently.
See the difference? My face really never changed, I don't think. But I had big teeth, nice teeth, and now my teeth are all yellow. This picture is when I was able to do a full split. Can't do it no more. But this is, I can lift my leg above my head and bring it backwards and forwards in all different directions.
We couldn't trust him. And I said, well, I didn't really want to do that, but I had to do something.
In Rhode Island.
That was a heartbreaking thing. That hurt me. I even now repent that, but at that time he was on drugs heavily. He was harassing for money. I hated that. When I pray now, I say, oh God, please forgive us. We have to submit ourselves to God, and He will control our sex drive. Only God can, because we are just like the grass in God's eyes. We are nothing. We're just like a weed. God can control us, but we have to go to him and wait on him and believe he can do it. I have a plant, I call it Adrian. I water the plant because I know God is watering his life. And I know God sees him every day. I know that. Things are going to work out for him.
Satan is trying to distract us in so many different ways. But if you're not careful, the things that you did in your past can follow you for the rest of your life. Stuff that you did and stuff that folks did to you.
I like church. Living with the disease and being all alone, it's my strength. You know, I go there because that's where my strength lies. I sing, I dance in my church, I do a lot of different things with my church.
You really like that pastor?
Yeah, yes, he's a good pastor. He's a good pastor. No matter what we've been through, you know what I mean? He's still a good man.
Is that the guy?
Yes. And my family keeps telling me to get over it. Like, I have to move on. I have to live my life. I have to get over it. And that's what I have to do. I was like 3 years old when it started, and it didn't end till I was about 10. My brother walked in on us. My oldest brother had walked in and saw what we was doing. And like, he questioned it, why am I naked? I was naked at the time. He would tell me that he would, if I told anybody, that he would hurt me, or he used to buy me things just to keep me quiet.
And you still go there to listen to him? Why do you do that?
Because my family goes there. I want to be around my family sometimes. I want that love again. You understand what I'm saying? I want them I want to be that golden child, I guess the word is. You know, I want them to love me and to care about me. So I guess I do that just to satisfy them.
These are some of my designs that I really, really want to make. That's another thing I came up with, whatever. I've actually been to Vietnam. I was a spoiled child, I guess, when I was a kid in private school. They sent me off to different countries and stuff like that to learn. And in Vietnam, this is kind of a style that they had, which is called Leo Dai, which is like the traditional wear of the Vietnamese women. I've never actually had a very close relationship with my father. He actually works for the government. He lobbies for governors, senators, and private clients. My birth mother was an incredible artist who gave me up for whatever reasons. I don't know. She gave me a few things, like a necklace, a teddy bear, and a long, lengthy note, which told me about our family's heritage and who she was, to the certain degree that wouldn't describe too much about her, so I couldn't find her. I drew my dream house that I'd like somewhere up in the mountains, alone. Small, basic, just wonderful, all to myself, with my teddy bear Cubbins.
Parents don't seem to understand it. You know, they don't understand their kids, so they start neglecting them and thinking that, you know, maybe, you know, the silent treatment will go and make them change. The family that I didn't have growing up, I have within the ballroom scene.
The ballroom scene is basically a community of gay, bisexual, transgender, some that have been in the ballroom scene since the 70s. And it's basically parties that we have. And in these parties, we have competitions. We have like dance competitions, which is like voguing. It's like your own individual art.
House of Ninja. My house overall mother is legendary Willie Ninja.
I'm Willie Ninja. I'm listening to Steve Chip Chop Gonzalez. Learn it.
This is the beat to scream and shout.
The kids in the ballroom scene, some of them are homeless, some of them are not, some of them are in schools, some of them have jobs. It's not one or the other. I'm the overall mother, of course the originator, the creator of the House of Ninja. I have certain guidelines and rules, and a lot of times the kids don't like my rules, and if they don't like my rules, it's like, okay. Like most parents, you know, if you cannot deal with this family, well, maybe you can find a foster family. I might sound a little strict, but the reason is I know how my mother was with me, my real mom, and what it took to get me to that next level, and also good friends around me, because if not, I'd probably be either dead or in the street, on drugs or something, and I don't want these kids to end up with HIV or drugs or living on the street because they got a little bit too carried away with the party or the ballroom scene. And I'm not saying that's what the ballroom scene creates, but if that's all they're focused on, they're not focused on everyday life, to how to survive. After the ball, what are they gonna do?
What made the ballroom attractive to myself was that it was a very creative place. I can actually go dressed how I wanted to go dressed, and I can be myself. Yeah, you feel comfortable. You're yourself. You're like, okay, everybody knows I'm here, and I'm gonna show the glamour side of me that you know that you probably can't show at a regular place.
When I first started walking balls, I was like around maybe 16. I was before I became Jasmine. I needed a community, I needed somebody to to not care about my sexual orientation, my gender identity, my race, my ethnicity, my religion. I wanted people who didn't care about that. And when I went to balls, I found people that were just like me.
They kept trying to tell me, and they kept trying to show me, and they're doing these things, and like, I was looking at these queens, and I was like, that looks really, really gay. And they're like, that's the point. And I was like, why? And they were telling me that, you know, that it's beautiful.
I live my life as a male, and I do this on the weekends or once a month when they do have the balls. I go to college. I'm a salsa instructor. I also work as a supervisor at a diner. The whole role in becoming a drag queen is to show how beautiful you are as a male and as a female. It's a female illusion, and it's basically our dance that we started back in the day, and we've kept up and we've perfected and showed off. Not a lot of people know about it. Not a lot of people know how to do it, but the few that do it well.
It's been about 2 years now, and I've walked about 7 or 8 balls. Moschino is the house that I was in, like the house in Milan, the ball. I was a Moschino, and then I became a Valentino. Now I'm in no house. I'm just Adrian.
I could get funky and dizzy and crazy with the best of them, but I also know how to turn it off and put on the business face too. As far as me being in the industry, majority of it I owe to Patricia Field, who believed in me, believed in my talent, believed in what I presented as a person, and she stuck by me and pushed me. I thought it was going to be like a little novelty for 1 year, and then that was it. Establishing my name and keeping it there, that's what the hard part is.
We all get along, we all go out together and we carry on, we go and crack jokes, we know the time and place for it. We teach each other, we grow with each other, we support each other, it's a family.
What I want to achieve is just people maybe viewing us in a different light, in a different way, and seeing that we are regular people and that we can make it, and that we want to do something besides what's taboo for transgendered people. What was different in my case is definitely not looks. It's kind of because I had my mother and I had my family there to support me. My mother was always there for me from the beginning and always supported me throughout everything.
Why do I devote my time now? I mean, I learned everything the hard way, but also had good role models, which was my mother. My mom is a strong woman. She's wheelchair bound. She's been wheelchair bound since the 70s. She's been on crutches since the 60s. Then she was wheelchair bound. She raised me and my two first cousins, but my mom has been mother, father, sister, brother, best friend, and also a big fan. She follows my work everywhere.
My mother never told me to stop doing anything. Like, she always supported me for whatever I wanted to do, and she never, threw me out in the street.
You really don't have to be scared because there's something that you have to support your child, no matter what. Always. It's tough, but you have to realize that when God give you something, that's what you have to get. You cannot change it. Remember something. You are the lawyer of your child. If you don't support your child, nobody will. That means that whatever they tell me in school, don't accept it. Put it to my daughter.
Recently, I've been delivering packages as a bike messenger. It's really fun. I like racing through the cars and everything. It's fun as hell. Well, I came in like 4 months ago, and there was a sign on the door that said, hiring or whatever. And I just walked in. He asked me if I'd done this before. I said yes. That was a lie. And I got the job, basically. It was really easy to get. Something really bad happened to me recently. I've been in a relationship with this guy, and when he told me he's a drug dealer, I know! He's a drug dealer. He's a freaking stooge. But anyway, what happened was I was making a sale for him. I was helping him do his little drug business. It was stupid. And I was doing his sale, and I got busted. I literally got busted. What happened was, after I sold it to an undercover cop, 5 cops came on, 5 police officers came to me and tried to arrest me. I thought I was getting mugged because they were all plainclothes. They were all like undercover. I didn't see any badges or anything. So they all attack me at once, and then one of them punches me in the face, and I'm like, oh no. So they broke my nose. I was bleeding. There was blood all over 44th Street. And I got arrested. It was really easy getting money to get a room. This room, for example, is $100 a week. And there are many ways of getting a room. You can either go through an agency, which I did, or you can know people, which I don't. I don't know anyone, so I didn't get this room for as cheap as I could have. I'm still very transgender, but I've decided not to go through a sex change because that's going to bring up that's going to bring so many more issues for me. Because when you have a sex change, you want to pass. You want to pass as a female. And a lot of transsexuals don't pass. No matter how beautiful they look or whatever, there's something about them where you can just tell that they used to be a man. So I've decided just to be comfortable with, whatever the hell this body is. I mean, it's okay. It's a body, whatever.
I'm having issues with my gender right now. Nobody finds me attractive as a girl, you know, dressed up and whatnot, even if I get myself done up anymore. It's like nobody wants me anymore, so, but whenever I do dress down and I'm, you know, thugged out and whatnot, everybody's like, ooh, what's up, blah, 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 you know. Like in school, I was always called a bitch. I was always called a girl. I was always called, you know, pussy. And every day of the week, I'm always, you know, wishing that I was hetero and masculine, or I wish I was born a woman.
They call this Mount Hope residence. This is my room. This is where I sleep at night, where I eat, where I do shake showers. This is where I live, basically. It's not much, you know what I mean? But what the hospital provides, you know, what welfare provides is they give you a room to sleep in. And so you don't have to be on the streets, you know? My teddy bear's gay. I always bring him with me to the hospitals because he prays for me, you know, he keeps me safe, he keeps me sane, he keeps me there. This one, his name is Ramon. He's a hairdresser. He's a hairdresser for the Mets. Mm-hmm. Yes, honey. You see my naked fat people? I'm a chubby chaser. I like fat men. I like my man to be a man, and me, I'll be the woman. It's just fun to be feminine. It's fun to be a bottom. It's fun to be the feminine part of the relationship. $50 on 34th Street. I don't really like them because I can't do anything. I told my mom that I had got my nails done, and I went and showed her, actually, that I had my nails done, and she was kind of like flabbergasted. She was like, I can't believe you're doing this. What are you going through? You can't come here like that. Da-da-da-da-da. She said, if you want to be a woman on your own time. Don't be a woman here. You're a boy. I raised you up as a boy. I'm like, I really don't care. I live by myself. I live here. You understand what I'm saying? So, and I don't have to answer to nobody. But when I was living at home, I had to answer to somebody. I don't have to answer to nobody now. You know what I'm saying? I can do what I want. If I want to wear pink boots and walk down the street, hey, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to have fun doing it, so. Very expensive.
$50 at 50 for the boots?
No, these boots were $200.
You're crazy.
And actually, I met a date. And he was paying me, and he said that if I get in drags for him, he would give me a lot of money, which he did. So he paid for my nails, he paid for these boots, he bought me a coat. He was a freak. Like, he wanted me to put my heel in his face and talk dirty. Then eventually he wanted me to take my clothes off, and he realized, like I said, I wasn't a femme queen. Like, I'm not a girl, or I'm not living as a woman. So, you know, I had to take my clothes off, and I was kind of grossed out by him, but he was more turned on to me, so I was just like, as long as this $500 is coming, I'm gonna do anything he asked me to do. Next week, I'll be a masculine boy again. Probably my mustache will have grown back. You know, a lot of things will be different, so. All right.
Now, what he's doing, he's checking all the seats to make sure they're secure.
Back emergency exit buzzer is working. I got 2 emergency exits on the left, 2 emergency exits on the right, 1 in the back, 2 on the top, 7 emergency exits altogether.
He's one of my best students that I've taught in the school. You tell him make a left, he makes a left. He's very calm, you know, easygoing guy, and he should be a good driver. The only thing he has to work on a little bit is a little bit of his road rage. He has to work on that. Yeah, cut it. Watch that minivan.
Yeah, stupid ass.
Watch the minivan.
I know. Like, I want to get my tractor trailer license. I want my Class A. Right now I'm getting my Class B. And Class B is like bus license. So I'm gonna have to be with people, and I'm not looking forward to that. So I'm gonna do that for a little bit while I get my Class A license. I wanna drive tractor trailers, trucks. where I can just be by myself and just nobody, you know, it'll be wonderful, heaven.
You're a bus driver. You gotta get aggressive when you do it. You gotta put it on your truck. Us truckers, we got that on our trucks.
You got big balls?
Yeah.
I know you got big balls.
Damn right. In the back, so everybody will see them hanging. Move up.
I'm moving.
You're getting too aggressive now.
Like, I was calling out every hazard there was in the road. And there's a hazard every second. Like, just everywhere you go, there's a hazard right there. There's just hazards. It's a hazardous world.
I went through the homelessness, the gender identity issues, and, you know, throughout it all, I was able to keep on going through life. You know, just because I was going through all that crap, if you will, in life, didn't mean that life ended. You know, I had to just keep on going. And that was, I guess, my motivation to keep on going so that I could get out of that dump of being homeless and living in a group home. I just recently accepted a position working for Bellevue Hospital. So I'll be working in their outpatient neurology clinic as a social worker. With my transition came a lot of me wanting to stay away from the LGBT community. I kind of wanted to just pass and basically live a quote-unquote normal life, I guess, with my boyfriend. And we've been together now for 6 years. His parents, they wanted my boyfriend to have a child, and I kind of gave his mom a look like, I don't think that's gonna happen. There is no way back. Once you get to surgery, that's a wrap. You've made your decision for life. And upon taking hormones, I got emotional, I got like very sensitive, and I feel as if anxiety developed inside of me because I would walk down the street fearing that someone would know or figure out who and what I am. I fear that one day coming where it's like, I'm not gonna be real, I'm not gonna be pretty, I'm not gonna pass. And then I'm gonna be walking down the street and everybody's gonna make fun of me, and I fear that. And it's a scary feeling, and that's something I guess I have to work out within myself.
I remember when I was a kid, my stepfather locked me up for months at a time. So I'm used to being locked up, so I don't care. I'm fine with being in the box. Just as long as I can keep my hair, I'm okay. These days, I've decided not to be transgender because over the time that I've been in New York City, I've realized that people like me under that gay umbrella are more beautiful as an androgynous being than trying to conform to society. In other words, being a man who's too feminine, who turns out to be taboo in society, finds a way to conform to society by becoming a woman. And I think that's a cop-out. So I just think that if I were to just stay who I am as a very feminine, androgynous person, I think personally, I am more beautiful because of that. I'm much happier here in jail than I was being in Utah. I'm much happier being myself here than I am with freedom in Utah. Like 10 times happier. No, I don't think I'm a freak anymore. I remember in Utah, I used to think I was a freak. But then I came over here and I learned how beautiful we are. I realized that I'm just gorgeous. I think I'm beautiful.
Thank God I have a good doctor living with the virus. Kind of scared though. Your kidneys fail, your liver fail. That's it, you know. But I thank God that now I have a good practitioner in my life, and she cares and she makes sure that things are going the way they're supposed to go. I'm doing better than I was a year ago. A year ago, I was a mess. I weighed more, I weighed a lot more, but I wasn't functioning, you know what I mean? I was doing a lot of crazy things, prostituting, all that craziness. And I just thank God that I got somebody in my life now. And this man has made me feel like I can be me. And if I don't have anything, he still loves me. And if I have the world, he loves me. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make a difference to him. We have a home together in Brooklyn. I've been living there for a year now, too. It's been great. I have more than most 24-year-olds can say that they have. You know, I have my own apartment. I have a cat. His name is DJ. He's fierce. You know, I just have things now, and I'm going to attain more as long as I keep living. Stay out of trouble, keep taking my medicine. You know, so that's basically, and I realized that I will live, you know. So that's it. Thank you. I have no more to say because my cigarette's finished.
I tell every mom that has some kids like that to support them, to be with them, to love them, and care about them because they need love. That's what they need.
It's my mom.
When you see me, that you still hold me, you won't turn away. I hope you believe me when I tell you it's still me. You think I lost my direction if I saw my reflection? I But if you saw how confused I was, seen how abused I was, getting it all wrong. I know you don't understand me. It's not how